Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on The Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good evening. It's Brian Crombie here. I have this show, The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV, coming to you every Thursday. And I've done this for the last year and a half. I've also had a radio show for the last year and a half. And you know what? It's been an unbelievable honor for me to interview just an incredible breadth of different individuals over the course of the last year and a half. I can hardly believe it. I've actually had over 500 shows, and I've interviewed almost 700 people. And it's been, you know, people that were physicians, people that have been working on vaccines, people that have been business people working on testing, on mask construction, on ventilators, on respirators, on booths to separate us. I've spoken to politicians, numerous different politicians. I spoke to the majority of politicians that were in the last Ontario Liberal leadership, the last Green Party leadership, the last Federal Conservative Party leadership. So not all, but most of the different candidates. I've spoken to lifestyle coaches and people that are performers and artists that I know from my time as the president of the Mississauga Arts Council. I've spoken to a bunch of people in transit because, as some of you may know, I'm chairman of Transit Alliance. And I've spoken to just a whole bunch of really interesting people. What have I learned during 2020? You know, all of us have had an interesting experience during 2020 with the pandemic, with isolation, working from home, etc. I've learned a bunch, and it's been a real growing experience. And the people that I've spoken to and interviewed have really given me a wealth of growth in my own personal life, both from an intellectual standpoint, but also from a social standpoint. And so, if I could, I'd like to share with you 5 different things that I've had some learnings on. And the first one is obvious. It's about COVID-19. The second one is about the economy. The third one is about our politics. And the fourth one is about relationships. And the fifth one is about ourselves. So what have I learned about COVID-19? I think that number one, we defined it wrong from day one. We should never have called it social distancing. We should have called it physical distancing. And I think that the mental health impacts have been huge, and the public health impacts have been the most important, and that's why we had the social distancing from day one, and the isolation and the quarantine and the work from home, etc. But when we forgot that the social interaction was so critically important, and we called it social distancing, we used the wrong term, and words matter. And that was a big mistake. And I think that was compounded by a couple of things like closing the parking lots on parks, because I think that people needed in the spring to get out. And when they got out, they were walking with people and interacting with people. And I went on lots of walks, like you probably went on those walks. And people weren't, in most cases, disobeying the rules. They were getting together with people that they knew, and that was all. And when they meet other people, and I was on numerous different pathways where people, diverted and stayed 6 feet away from others. So I think that people needed to have some social interaction, desperately needed to have some social interaction, but were willing to respect the physical distancing rules that were put in place. I've had lots of different people come and talk about vaccines and the development of vaccines. I had the CEO of the Oxford University healthcare system that's got 40 hospitals, 400,000 people working for them, a huge operation in the United Kingdom working on the AstraZeneca vaccine. And it was incredible the amount of effort that they went on the vaccine. But then he said, with all this effort that we're doing on this vaccine, and we're going to spend billions of dollars, and we're going to spend months vaccinating as many people in the globe as we possibly can, the reality is we have within our control right now the ability to stop this virus. If only everyone wore a mask and stayed 6 feet away from each other. If everyone wore a mask, both the person that is on one end as well as the other. Too often it's only one person wearing the mask and the other person's not. But if everyone wore a mask, and we stayed 6 feet away from each other, and we washed our hands, and we used sanitizer and things like that, we would have been able to stop the virus in 30 days. And we weren't, as a society, willing to do that. And we know that Japan, Korea, South Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, New Zealand, Australia to a certain extent, etc., were willing to do that. And why weren't we willing to do that? I don't know. I think that we've lost some of this sense of community that we used to have, this sense of the greater good that we used to have, and we've seen it in our politics that have become so focused on the individual. But I think we need to get that back, that sense of one for all and all for one that I think we seem to have lost. So that's a couple of my comments. But the final one on COVID would be, just the other day I interviewed Mark Keeley, a guy I know who's lost his brother a couple of weeks ago to COVID-19. David Keeley was 61 years old, incredibly good health, no pre-existing conditions, exercised every day, respected all the rules. He caught COVID-19 and was gone within 3.5 weeks. And I think we need to know some of those people that are either close to us in our own family, our own friend group, or people that we know from other people, those personal stories, because it makes it real. Because too many of us are getting tired and not following the rules and being lackadaisical. And we can't. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't go out. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be interacting with other people. But it does mean that you respect it. You stay 6 feet apart. You wear a mask. You wash your hands. And so, bottom line, don't get tired. Don't have COVID fatigue. This is the worst virus in 100 years. And when you think about how many people the Spanish flu killed, thank God it's not that bad. Or the plagues in the Middle Ages that stayed around for more than 100 years, a few generations. Thank God it's not going to be that bad. We can get through this. But the second thing about COVID that I want to mention, because I've spent a bunch of time interviewing a bunch of different business people, is that in the times of economic collapse, the greatest wealth has been built. And it's fascinating. If you actually think, and you go back in history, the people that have made the most money, the biggest wealth, have been the ones that have expanded during the tough times, that have been aggressive during the tough times, that have either invested in capex, in innovation, in marketing, in consolidation, etc. And often it comes from different ideas that have come out, or new opportunities that have shaken you out of your historical situation and given you a new opportunity to go somewhere else. And I've interviewed so many different business people that have seen in COVID-19 an opportunity to create a new business, whether it's a small entrepreneurial business or whether it's a big new business venture. And you only take a look at how the IPO market has been on a tear, how the stock market has done incredibly well. People are willing to invest in new opportunities. And so from a business standpoint, whether it be an entrepreneurial opportunity or a business investment opportunity, take those opportunities. But it's also an opportunity to figure out what you're interested in, what you're passionate about. I've spoken to numerous different artists that have been very creative during COVID-19, that have written some of their best work, that have painted some of their best stuff, or that have decided they really wanted to be an artist or really wanted to do something because it was an opportunity to see what they were all about. And so therefore the opportunity to look inside and think about what it is that you want to create is, I think, a great opportunity that this pandemic has given us, because we've been able to take the time, because we haven't had the busyness of taking the kids here, there, and everywhere, the business of going to events, or the business of going to restaurants and going to bars and whatnot, and all those people have suffered, and so I'm feeling very bad for them. But it has given us the opportunity to be a little bit more introspective, and I think that's good. Second thing I wanted to talk about was the economy. This economy, some people have called potentially a depression. The bankruptcies have been huge. The job losses have been huge. The unemployment rates. And it's been clouded to a certain extent because the IPO market and the stock market has done so well. And the rich have gotten so much rich. And we see that in Amazon, Apple, etc. I think we're going to come out of this, and we're going to need to come out of this with one of the biggest fiscal stimulus programs that we've ever had. And whether it's going to be a fiscal stimulus spent on infrastructure like it was in 2009, or whether it's going to be the Green New Deal that people have talked about, or whether it's going to be the Great Reset that the World Economic Forum is talking about, we got to figure that out, and we've got to be, as people, have some influence on governments and what it's going to be, because we are going to need to spend that money. And you can see it from what happened after the Great Depression. You can see from what happened after 2008, 2009. That money will be spent. and it's going to be a huge fiscal stimulus, but we need to make sure that it's spent in the right ways, and so we need to have a point of view on that. So get ready for that and be influenced on it. The third thing that I want to talk about is that this has impacted politics, and I think that, if anything, what it is it's a potential bottom that we've hit in this trend that started probably post 2008, 2009. There was this trend toward it. Remember in 2008, 2009, we had this Occupy movement that people thought was going to change things dramatically. And we had across the world, particularly in Canada and the United States, but also in Europe, movements where people were occupying parks all over the place and demanding more wealth to be shared. And that sort of didn't continue, but what it did is it led to this pendulum shift to populism that is, Donald Trump, Rob Ford, Doug Ford, Boris Johnson, etc. And there was this massive swing to populism, and I think to extremism, and to this acceptance of white supremacy. And I'm not saying it's been accepted, but there was this group of people that had more support and more ability to voice their beliefs than probably ever in the last generation, on the extreme right, but also in the extreme left. And I think this movement to extremism, maybe because of the pandemic, maybe because of the economic situation that I've talked about, maybe because of the introspection people have had to go through, we are now at the worst possible with what's happened in the United States in the last couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll come out of it and people can come together. Which leads me to my final point about relationships and about yourself. Because I think a lot of these trends, COVID-19, isolation, opportunities to grow in new areas, introspection, the growth in the economy that's going to have to come out of this populism movement that might have come to the worst possible situation and hopefully it will change, has led to this situation where people and we've talked about it a lot over the course of the last year. People are either getting together and having babies or they're getting divorced and separating. So I think that this pandemic has been this crucible for so many different things, whether it's been in the economy, whether it's been digital growth, but it's also been in relationships. It's been relationships have either grown dramatically or suffered dramatically, because when you're forced to spend a lot of time with someone, you sort of figure things out. And you figure things out about yourself. And so I think that this has been a gift. This pandemic has been a gift for us all to figure out what we're all about, to look inside, to think about what it is that matters, what our passion is, what our legacy is going to be, what we want someone to say at our eulogy. So if I could leave you with those few ideas about my lessons from 2020. Number one, on COVID-19, don't get tired. This is the challenge of our generation. And wear a mask, stay physically distant, not socially distant. Worry about the David Keelys of this world that can catch it and die so quickly. Think about the opportunities to invest in something new, to grow a new business, to be an entrepreneur. Think about the opportunities to grow yourself. Look internal. Spend the time. Do the hard work. We're going to spend some money coming out of this. Let's figure out the right ways to spend it. If it is to do a green infrastructure, or if it is to build transit infrastructure, or if it is to build more parks, we should be doing that. Let's see what's happened in this world over the course of the last couple of years, and particularly the last couple of months, and particularly in the United States, from an extremism and populism standpoint, as the worst parts of our politics. And let's change that for the better. And finally, let's not be sore losers. Let's think about the positive opportunities that we've had to spend time with ourselves and with our loved ones, and let's build on our relationships, and let's build on ourselves. That's my lessons from 2020. Thank you very much for joining me. That's Brian Crombie for the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good night.
कोविड-19 का हल सिर्फ आपके पास है। घर पर रहें और अगर आपको बुखार या दूसरी अलामत है तो दूसरों से दूर रहें। बाहर के अफराद से 2 मीटर का फासला रखें, चाहे वो खानदान के हों या करीबी दोस्त। ऑफिस और पब्लिक प्लेसेस पर मास्क पहने, वक्फे से हाथ धोएं, ऑनलाइन सेल्फ असेसमेंट करें और जरूरत पड़ने पर टेस्ट करवाएं। फैलाव की रोकथाम के लिए हमारा फर्ज अभी मुकम्मल नहीं हुआ। हम एक दूसरे के ताउन से सबकी हिफाजत यकीनी बना सकते हैं। मजीद जानने के लिए ontario.ca/coronavirus पर विजिट कीजिए।
Ted Rogers was a visionary of his time. After founding Rogers Communications, he knew his next success would happen here in downtown Mississauga. Mississauga is Canada's 6th largest city. Businesses are growing. New jobs are being created. The stage is now set for something incredible. M-City, a new groundbreaking condominium community. M-City is in the heart of Mississauga, with its residents at the center of it all. For fashion and entertainment, Square One is at your doorstep. With local grocery stores and farmers markets close by. The area is bustling with restaurants, entertainment, and nightlife. M-City is also central to Mississauga's arts and cultural scene. Celebration Square, the City Center, and Living Arts Center are places residents can enjoy major community events. M-City has over 2 acres of parkland that connect to the John Budd Cleary Park and Korea Park. Sheridan College's Hazel McCallion campus and the U of T's Mississauga campus are close by. Students living at M-City can head to campus or the Central Library within minutes. Getting virtually anywhere is simple with easy access transit in every direction. M-City's 10-tower community faces Burnhamthorpe Road, one of the city's major thoroughfares. Now, the ideal picture for modern and sustainable living. M-City is the future-ready condo community that has it all together. Something Ted Rogers envisioned when he bought the land over 50 years ago.
घर खरीदने का इरादा हो तो सबसे बड़ा मसला मॉर्गेज की अप्रूवल, मगर अब ये मसला नहीं रहा क्योंकि हमारे साथ हैं मॉर्गेज एडवाइजर मोइन अहमद। मॉर्गेज अप्रूवल सिर्फ एक कॉल के फासले पर। कॉल कीजिए 416-666-1563 और $3,000 कैश हासिल करें। सम कंडीशंस अप्लाई। कॉल कीजिए 416-666-1563। मॉर्गेज एडवाइजर मोइन अहमद।
Buying or selling a residential or commercial property is one of the biggest financial decisions most people will make in their life. The real estate lawyers at Olam Law Chambers will guide you through the complete real estate laws to ensure your transaction completes on time and your dreams come true. Reliable and affordable. Olam Law.
Was your family or business prepared for this financial crisis? Want to learn how I prepare my clients with the essential financial planning pyramid for any financial crisis come their way? Hello, this is Zahid Sayed from Arooj Financial. For your complimentary Zoom or Skype meeting, call my office at 905-624-0008 or visit aroojfinancial.com.
Are you looking for a different type of realtor? Meet Sohail Khan, broker owner of Century 21 Innovative Realty Inc. You don't need to know a lot about real estate, but you do need to know Sohail Khan, who knows a whole lot about real estate. He knows contracts, negotiations, research, he knows the market, and he really knows the area. When it comes to real estate buying or selling, Sohail Khan is a know-it-all. Get to know Sohail Khan. 416-822-0305 or at sohailkhan.ca. Experience excellence.
Meet Kamran Qureshi. Kamran is an expert in providing personalized advices in the field of mortgage services. He can assist in dealing with purchase transactions, all refinance and equity takeouts, financing for primary or investment properties, transfer from other lenders, debt consolidation. Kamran has been providing mortgage services to the community for the last 17 years. Simply get in touch with the expert to arrange a meeting that works for you. Please call Kamran at 647-280-6663.
KK Travels believe in providing everyone with first-class customer service. We take care of not only your air ticket, but dignity and respect as well. We are available on WhatsApp anytime for you, even while you are in Pakistan or any other destination. We provide the lowest price guaranteed and are open to price match any airline.
We are KK Travels under supervision of Qais Khan at 905-367-9433 or visit www.qaiskhan.travels.com.
टीम फरहान मॉर्गेज सॉल्यूशंस आपकी खिदमत में पेश 15 साल तजर्बे के हामिल, आपकी जरूरियात और मर्जी के एन मुताबिक कारोबारी, रिहायशी, तामीराती और ज़रूरी मॉर्गेज सर्विसेज। हमारा कम तरीन मॉर्गेज रेट। टीम फरहान
को एक दफा खिदमत का जरूर मौका दीजिएगा। And this is my personal promise to you, you will not be disappointed.
At Team Farhan, we have a mortgage solution designed for you. मज़ीद मालूमात के लिए 416-569-9294 या फिर विजिट कीजिए हमारी वेबसाइट www.teamfarhan.com।
एयर विंग्स ट्रैवल एंड टूर्स नॉर्थ अमेरिका की सबसे बाएतमाद और फास्टेस्ट एयर ट्रैवल सर्विसेज। 25 साल का तजर्बा लिए लातादाद अफोर्डेबल ट्रैवल डील्स के साथ एक्सीलेंस इन कस्टमर सर्विसेज ऑन जस्ट वन फोन कॉल। ये है एयर विंग्स ट्रैवल एंड टूर्स। फॉर बुकिंग कॉल नाउ 1855-247-9464 और 905-272-2300। एयर विंग्स ट्रैवल एंड टूर्स।
Consumer Choice Award recipients and GTA's top-ranked service provider, Dixie Electronics, authorized dealer of all major companies. Shop with a peace of mind, and low prices are always guaranteed.
I promise best customer service and lowest prices in GTA because we beat prices from all major stores and small stores. At Dixie Electronics, our motto is we sell quality and deliver confidence.
Dixie Electronics and Appliances, 5120 Dixie Road, Unit 11, Mississauga. Phone number 905-625-5900.
If you are looking for a reliable, professional, and affordable travel agency in your town, then your search is over. Global Travel and Tours is your personal travel partner. Our dedicated staff at Mississauga, Jeddah, and Islamabad is always ready to make your trip hassle-free, memorable, and cost-effective. We will assist you with hotel reservations, the transportation, visa assistance, and travel insurance. We are the #1 pilgrimage specialist for Hajj, Umrah, as well as ziyarat to Iran and Iraq. Global Travel and Tours is a one-stop solution for your travel, immigration, and Forex needs. We are IATA approved agents and an authorized Umrah agent. To book your holiday or Umrah package, please give us a call right now at 1-877-275-3555. We look forward to hearing from you.
ज्यूल वन रेजिडेंसेस शहर लाहौर के तिल गुलबर्ग में वाक़े 4-स्टार सर्विस अपार्टमेंट्स, डेली रेंटल इनकम पर मुश्तमिल पुरआसाइश रिहायशी मंसूबा, अदायगी 3 से 4.5 साल आसान इक़सात में, कीमत सिर्फ 1,72,950 से, जदीद तर्ज जिंदगी की तमाम तर सहूलियात से आरास्ता 1, 2 और 3 बेडरूम्स के सुपर लग्जरी अपार्टमेंट्स, अटैच्ड स्पेनिश बाथरूम्स, चाइनीज और स्पेनिश फ्लोरिंग, कुशादा लिविंग रूम्स, इटालियन डिजाइन किचन, बिल्ट इन अप्लायंसेस के साथ, खूबसूरत रिसेप्शन एरिया, लॉबी, वसी और अरीज कार पार्किंग, कॉफी शॉप, रेस्टोरेंट, स्विमिंग पूल, जिम्नेजियम, तेज-तरीन लिफ्ट्स और बहुत कुछ, जहां मुंतजिर है आप और आपकी फैमिली के लिए ख्वाबों जैसी जिंदगी। ज्यूल वन रेजिडेंसेस, आपके ख्वाबों का आशियां।
अमेरिका और कनाडा में मुकीम पाकिस्तानियों के पाकिस्तान में डिस्प्यूट्स और कानूनी मामलात, बिलखुसूस विरासत, जायदाद और प्रॉपर्टी, नाजायज कब्जा, जाली डॉक्यूमेंट्स, फ्रॉड, फैमिली केसेस, किरायादारी, क्रिमिनल केसेस और लेन देन के मामलात वगैरह की वकालत और मुशावरत के लिए पाकिस्तानी लॉ फर्म चौहान लॉ चैम्बर्स। वेबसाइट www.chauhanlawchambers.com। फोन +92 333 424 7447।
जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी।
मुस्लिम वेलफेयर सेंटर के जरिए आप पाकिस्तान के रेगिस्तान में प्यासों को पानी पिला सकते हैं, गरीब बच्चों की तालीम और माली परवरिश कर सकते हैं, बीमारों का मुफ्त इलाज करवा सकते हैं। ज़कात, सदक़ात या फिदिया देने के लिए आज ही हमें फोन करें 1-866-754-3111।
Meet Kamran Qureshi. Kamran is an expert in providing personalized advices in the field of mortgage services. He can assist